We are at the University of Hartford for a capital matchup, Albany and Hartford on the America East Game of the Week. Everyone was excited to see what Albany's talented freshmen would do as sophomores, but Levi Levine has had to go it alone with Jamar Wilson out for the season. Levine hasn't gone through a sophomore slump, but the Great Danes have had great pains in an unlucky season. The Hartford Hawks are starting to come on strong. They've won 3 in a row, overcoming their long list of injuries. But Aaron Cook is healthy and happily filling it up. Now the Hawks will try to fill up the win column, while Albany looks to do the same on the America East Game of the Week. From the Chase Family Arena on the campus of the University of Hartford here in West Hartford, Connecticut, this is the America East Game of the Week. Today it's a matchup of teams that are really a mirror image of each other, the Albany Great Danes and the Hartford Hawks. And welcome everyone, along with Ron Perry, I'm Eric Freed. Mirror image really in a bad way. They've been decimated by injuries, these two squads. Let's start with Albany. We talked a lot last year about how they barely had enough players to field a practice 5-on-5. Well, multiply that by 10 this year, Ron. They've dressed and brought 7 players here today.
The numbers are really down, and the key guy is Jamar Wilson that is not in lineup. He was the America East Rookie of the Year a year ago, averaged 19 a game. But Jon Iati is in the lineup for Albany, and Jon Iati has really been a very good player. The freshman is second in the team in scoring, leads the team in assists, one of your top 3-point shooters in the conference, and he doesn't come off the floor. He's averaging over 40 minutes a game in conference play. Needs to be hot, needs to light it up. Hartford will try to extend on him today.
He can't come off the floor. They need him. Now for Hartford, a guy who hasn't come off the floor in 4 years. Really good backcourt matchup here today. Ryan Stiles, 4-year fixture here for the Hawks.
Ryan Stiles is just rock solid when you think of Hartford basketball. He is the guy that will be the glue from the point position. He doesn't come off the floor either. He's second in the team in scoring. He's their top assist man, coming off a 22-point game in the win against Dartmouth. Over 1,000 points for his career. He is a gritty, hard-nosed kid. Needs to play a solid floor game and run the attack for the Hawks today.
Hartford's top returning scorer, Jerell Parker, is out for the season with an injury, much like Wilson. So Hartford turning to some youngsters, like Bo Taylor, the Rookie of the Week. You'll see him when we tip it off next.
Friendship is natural. Friendship is healthy. Friendship is satisfying. But above all, friendship is delicious, all-natural cottage cheese. Friendship, what could be more natural?
Competition, your Hawks get set to take on the University of Albany Great Danes. Let's get set for today's game. Getting our starting lineup. First for the University of Albany. At forward, number 11, Levi Levine. At forward, number 44, Aquawasi St Hillaire. At center, number 21, Chris Wyatt, At guard, number 2, Courtney Johnson.
We are back here in West Hartford getting set for Albany and Hartford. The Great Danes come in 3-13 overall, 1-6 in the conference, but they have been in just about every game here recently. It's just a question of getting it over the hump. And here is the starting five. Get to know them, because you're going to see a lot of them here today.
Absolutely. Levi Levine and Jon Iati are your top 2 scorers on Albany's club, and Aquawasi St Hillaire will get it done inside. Chris Wyatt and Courtney Johnson, of course, in the front court as well. Levi Levine, a guy that can light it up, and he is one of the top guys at Hartford. We'll have to try to slow down today.
Head coach Will Brown telling us before the game that Levine and Iati have struggled a little bit the last 2 games. That's partly because a lot of teams are just figuring out they need to shut them down to take Albany off their offensive rhythm, and they have a little trouble finding offensive rhythm this year. They want to keep the game in the 50s and the 60s. Now, for the Hawks, they're coming off a win against Dartmouth non-league on Friday night. Had a big run in that game, and they've won 3 in a row.
Oh, that's right. We talked about Ryan Stiles. He's just their veteran point guard. And how about the sophomore Aaron Cook? He's their top scorer, and he also is coming off a 21-point game in the win against Dartmouth. Sean Regan, originally a walk-on. Bo Taylor has been coming on inside. The freshman, one of your top rebounders in the conference, and Alex Zimnitskis from Toronto, Ontario, got to do a job on the boards today for the Hawks. So rebounding
Larry
could be the
Harrison in his
differential.
4th season as the Hartford head coach, grew up about an hour down Interstate 84 in Danbury, Connecticut. His team had a couple of rough outings before going on this 3-game winning streak. Lopsided losses to UMBC and Northeastern, but they've got it to 1 game under 500 overall, so a great credit to the Hawks overcoming the loss of their top scorer, Jerell Parker. This is the 10th meeting between these 2 teams. Albany leading the all-time series 5-4, but Hartford has won 3 in a row. And Albany coming off another heartbreaking loss. It was at Stony Brook on Wednesday. They were down 18 at halftime, came back to take a 55-52 lead, but DJ Munier had a 3-point play to tie it up, send it to overtime, and Albany lost in overtime. But that's what Will Brown's talking about. They've been in these games. It's been an unlucky 7, though. They've lost by 7 points or less 7 times. So they're in it. Let's see if they're able to keep it close here on Hartford's home floor in this game today.
Well, I think the tempo will be a big key today, as you see Sean Regan for Hartford with the mask. He broke his nose around Christmas time in a tournament. I think Albany wants this game played in the 50s today. Hartford will try to push it a bit, see if they can get a game in the high 60s into the 70s, get running a bit more. Neither team deep on the bench. Rebounding will be key today. Hartford has that advantage.
Bob Adams set to toss it up. Bill Lobenstein and Tim O'Brien, the rest of the officiating crew. Hartford has the ball. They're in their home white with the red trim. Albany with the black and purple, and we are underway.
Man-to-man by the Albany Great Danes to start it off. They play good, solid pressure defense. Here's a quick steal.
Pays off right away. There's the steal, and taking it in and getting fouled is Courtney Johnson. Freshman, a walk-on from Far Rockaway, New York. And here's a walk-on and a freshman who's played 40 minutes or more 3 times this year. That'll give you an indication, but this gives you an indication of what they do defensively.
That's right. Good pressure on the wing. Courtney Johnson with the strip. And again, Albany's got to play good defense today, man-to-man, not turn the ball over, and make the most of their offensive opportunities. Johnson, the freshman, coming off a 17-point game, a career high against Stony Brook. He can play.
13 of those career high 17 points coming in the second half, and that great comeback for Albany. And he played all 45 minutes in that game.
That'll be a common theme today. The Albany Great Danes, these guys are going to be on the floor. Just 2 reserves coming in today, and we'll see a lot of minutes logged by this starting group for Hartford as well.
Yeah, lonely spot on that bench. Just 2 players set to come in, knocked out of bounds. There you have it, the reserves for Will Brown here today. Not much on that bench.
Well, the one good thing for the starters, you don't have to look over your shoulder. You know you're going to play. That gives you a lot of confidence. Oh, a couple of quick turnovers by Hartford at home to start this one.
Todd Martin and Jared Knotts, the reserves for Albany. A couple of turnovers for the Hawks, and right away a substitution. Aaron Cook, leading scorer for this Hartford team, takes a seat after a rough start. And here comes Charles Ford, sophomore, sat out last year for personal reasons, but has come back nicely. Second on the team in assists, 3rd in scoring.
When you come out that quickly, Eric, that's a message substitution. Not even a minute into this game. Larry Harrison not happy with Cook. He'll be back out. They need him in this one.
Yeah, you can see Harrison top of the screen. He's pacing back and forth in front of Cook and delivering message and another message.
Yeah, no question about it. He's got a couple of messages he wants to deliver. It looked like Zimnichkis with the push down low. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes with your team, you just don't like the intensity level or with a player early in a ball game.
Here's Levi Levine. He has really a game that you can't define. We'll take it outside, we'll bring it inside. He's undersized at 6'6", but they will post him up even though he plays the 3. He is their post presence on this Great Dane team. Zimichkis puts it on the floor, ducks inside and was fouled.
Well, if there's an advantage inside in this game, it would be for Hartford. They've got some bigger ball players. Zimnichkis, one of them, with a good move right here against Wyatt. Got to give the big guy like that some room. Don't allow him to penetrate where he can be a factor and get to the foul line. Make the big man shoot from the perimeter and then box him out. See his numbers averaging a little bit better than 4 a game.
They gave the foul to Wyatt, Ron. It looked like Levine had made the contact on the head. Maybe they saw something before that. It's key to keep track of the fouls in this game, because if you lose someone to foul trouble, especially like Levi Levine, your best player, got to keep them on the floor and involved. Here's Stiles. First time he's trying to get involved here out the forward. 1-1 our score after 1 of 2 for Zimichkis. Trouble here for Hartford in the early going. Noon start on a Sunday. Waiting for the wake-up call.
Good man-to-man defense by Albany. Good helping out, switching off screens. Not a lot of openings.
Oh, Taylor turning and almost scoring. Look at the battle inside by Regan. Zimichkis getting on the offensive glass, but Levine picks it up. Now he'll put it on the floor and make the move. Pull up for 3. Short. Rebound, Hartford. Charles Ford trying to move Levine around using his speed. Kicks it out. Stiles inside the arc. That's in and out. Another battle on the glass. Last touch by Charles Ford, but Hartford getting on the glass on the offensive end on the early going.
Well, I think Larry Harrison would like to see his team push the pace and run when they have the opportunity. Ford did a great job there off the rebound, and that's where you can get a quick open shot. Stiles didn't knock it down, but you can get better shots sometimes that way versus your half-court set.
Todd Martin is checked in for substitution of the game for Will Brown as Levine sits down after missing a couple of threes.
2-3 trapping zone this time by Hartford.
That 3 is off the mark. Look at the battle inside by Chris Wyatt.
Wyatt got just raked on that rebound by Stiles, no call.
Iati got open. He can't hit the 3. Cold shooting for both squads here in the early going. And here comes Ryan Stiles, the senior captain for the Hawks.
Well, those are some good three-point looks for Albany, just not going down early in this one.
And Will Brown thinks Iati has kind of cooled off here last couple of games. Obviously, the defense has gotten a little tighter on him, but remember, he's a true freshman, had major shoulder surgery back in August, and they thought for a period of time that they'd have to redshirt him, that he wouldn't play at all, but obviously they've needed Iati. He's played very well, but maybe getting a little tired here midpoint of the season.
It's as cold shooting these perimeter jump shots as it is outside so far today. Neither team knocking it down. We played 3+ minutes, just a 1-1 game so far.
It was below 0 in parts of the area this morning, so we'll use that as our early excuse here that somebody left a door open overnight. Now Stiles, somebody left a door open and maybe a little ice built up on the floor because he tried to hit the brakes but lost his footing. Another turnover. Here's Albany.
Iati is limping for Albany. The whistle with possession. Bill Lobenstein right on the call, and certainly not something that Will Brown wants to deal with early to see Iati injured. I don't know if he rolled his ankle on that last play, but he is limping on the offensive end.
Well, he's going to stay in there. Levine is back in for Albany as Martin sits down. Well, freshman out of York, Pennsylvania, second on the team in scoring at 14 points a game, leading assist man. Can't afford to lose him. He's got the ball guarded tightly by Stiles, the matchup we talked about top of the telecast. The old, sorry about that, Ryan, and the young. Whistle. Contact on the baseline. It's going to be Albany ball. Also in for Hartford, Lewis Bosley, junior out of New Haven for the first time, as Larry Harrison's going to try to use, doesn't have a lot of depth, but is going to try to use some of it to his advantage in this matchup.
Well, he's got more depth than Will Brown has for Albany.
Relative, right.
Oh, tight defense to start this game. Both clubs really getting after it. Man-to-man here by the Hawks.
Iati, another open look for 3. That one a little too strong. Rebound pulled down by St Hillaire, and he has his first 2. And we have our first field goal of this game. Took about 4 minutes.
That's right. St Hillaire has been playing well, too. The last 10 games, he's been averaging in double figures and scoring. Probably the best athlete that the Great Danes put on the floor.
They run a play for Styes to get the three. Had an open look top of the key. Not a good start for Hartford here. They don't have a field goal yet. They've turned the ball over, and they trail 3-1.
Well, that's the good news for them, though. They haven't played well early. Still just down a bucket, though, because Albany has been cold at the offensive end as well.
Levine. St Hillaire. Johnson guarded tightly there by Aaron Cook.
Neither team really has an established low post game, so you're going to see jump shots today and some driving. Both clubs have got to do a job getting it to the goal. They don't have the guy that can just dump it down low to.
Levine has to throw it up with the shot clock winding down. It's a shot clock violation, and we have our first timeout. 15-12 to go here in the first half. Somebody roll in the portable heaters, close the doors. Let's get the heat on in here. It's 3-1.
Catch all the America East action in January at the Rack. For more information, call 442-4683.
It's really great. It's just a vibrant, lively, energetic place with lots going on all the time.
There's an overabundance of people who are ambitious, motivated, interested in learning, as well as going out and having a good time.
I think because we're a growing, changing, young university, it just offers unparalleled opportunity.
Well, they're frat brothers. They have to wear T-shirts, but you know, there's a problem here. There's got to be a problem. What's the combined shooting here so far? 1 for 13. The doors are. I see a few open doors around here. There must be, you know, somebody close that door. Turn on the heat. Let's get things started here.
Well, both teams have been relying on jump shots early out of the half-court set. Nothing has gone down for either team from three-point land. I think you're in a timeout like that, I'd be stressing, get it to the goal. Let's see if we can get a layup, get some action from the foul line, and then see if we can get our perimeter shooting going. Albany, good man-to-man so far.
Now they're going to try to take it inside, but a foul called on Hartford. Lewis Bosley whistled for the foul, but they did try to post him up. He did try to back his way down, but got a little too aggressive with it.
Well, there's no question. I think Larry Harrison said, let's get it inside. Let's get it in there to the goal. Now they're also extending some pressure. It's 1-2-1-1. Try to see if they can get some traps and increase the pace, get some breaks, and get some easy baskets.
And take care of the ball as well. 5 turnovers now for Hartford.
A lot of times that's the way you try to jumpstart your offense. It's not always just designing a new play. It's off your defense.
Mismatch as Levine turns inside. Some help came on Levine. Well, that kind of sums things up. It rolled around the backside of the rim. Levi will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. He had Ford posted up down low, and Levine really good when he posts up.
Well, it's a good look inside. Levine, as you said before, can go outside. Contact by both. I think they gave the foul on that play to Charles Ford. Good look. Maybe both coaches said, let's go inside. Levine, top scorer on the team. He can light it up from three-point land as well.
Well, Levi proved to us last year that he may be undersized in the post, but he has some nifty little moves. Will Brown put it best. His game is as ugly as it gets when he talks about Levi Levine, but he means that in the best possible way, that he gets it done in a variety of ways. It's just not the prettiest game, but it's effective when you're averaging 16 points a game.
Some guys just score. They find ways to get it done. He's one of them. He's been in double figures in 30 of the Great Danes' last 31 games, so he's been very consistent.
He'll have some fans around here in West Hartford. Went to school nearby, Cheshire Academy. Grew up in New York City. Whistle, another Hartford turnover.
Great pressure on the guard so far by Albany.
30-second timeout call by Harrison.
Aaron Cook has got a man in his face. They're doing a great job on him and Ryan Stiles. So if you play the backcourt that way for Hartford, you're really causing Larry Harrison's team some problems.
Well, it's been slow going for Hartford, and they have found a way to continue life without Jerell Parker, their leading scorer. Torn quadriceps in his right knee. Suffered that injury January 2nd in a game against Maine, out for the season. He's a senior. They're thinking about petitioning for a 6th year of eligibility. Parker transferred from Loyola of Chicago, but it's tough as he has to watch from the end of the bench, and there is Jerell trying to pump his team up. But when you have your top offensive player on the bench for the rest of the year, sometimes in times like this, when you turn the ball over, you're struggling with scoring. That's the guy you would turn to, a guy who can create, a guy who can score, and Hartford's having that trouble right now.
Oh, that's right. With Parker out, Good out, Lowndes out, they've just been decimated with injuries. And Jerell Parker, a guy that, you know, he was picked to be in the, the first team America East. So tough loss, and he's got to just sit there and watch and cheer his teammates on.
Played in just 6 games this year. Averaged 13 points a game last year. It's doubtful that they'll give him an extra year of eligibility after missing 1 season with the transfer, but it's worth a shot.
Absolutely.
Such a tough break this year, so we'll keep tabs on that, see if he's able to come back for yet another year here at Hartford.
Nice steal there by Hartford. Well, yeah, you've got him out in this ball game, and Jamar Wilson for Albany. So both of these teams without their top guns, and they've got to make the best of it.
And you see, this is a great chance to see who could step up, fill the void. Zimichkis trying to move on Levine. Out to Aaron Cook. Slow start for Cook. He's been unable to find any rhythm here. Zimichkis missed the 3. Levine goes after the loose ball, but Stiles got there first.
Courtney Johnson doing a great job so far on Cook.
Stiles ducking inside, throwing it up. Nothing there. Stolen back by Ford. Made the extra pass. Bosley couldn't handle it. Another turnover up ahead of the field. St Hillaire got it for 2. Stiles came back to challenge it. It's 7-1 Albany.
Boy, Hartford having such a tough time just handling the ball at the offensive end. They've just got to keep their poise, work for good shots, and try to get some penetration out of the backcourt. 3-guard lineup by Larry Harrison right now.
Zimichkis catch and shoot, and there it is. 12:40 to go in the first half. First field goal for Hartford.
Nice clean open look though, didn't force it into traffic. And Zimichkis just got that opening and dropped it right down.
Last time out for Hartford, they got off to a slow start at Lead Arena up in Hanover against Dartmouth, but went on a 22-2 run and ended up beating the Big Green 78-68. Stiles had 22 in that game, Cook 21. So you know Hartford's got a run or two in them. Both teams getting on the floor for the loose ball. Tie up, possession arrow going Albany's way.
Well, these teams are playing scrappy basketball. Defense has been very strong so far. Larry Harrison just not happy with the execution he's seen so far. And Will Brown down, he's got the vest going, looking very astute on the sideline. You can't bring the ball down if you're a big man. Keep it up, otherwise you let the backcourt people strip you. As you see there, a lot of bodies on the floor. Always a good sign that you've got the hustle going.
Chris Wyatt is going to come out of the game. And Jared Knotts checks in. I think we have a clock issue here as the officials get straightened out. Talk it over with both head coaches.
Yeah, there's no reset. You had possession with Albany. They still have possession. Shot clock down to 20. No reset.
Levine to inbound it with 20 on the shot clock. Finds St Hillaire.
I'd feel pretty good if I was Larry Harrison. Not that you're not scoring, but that you're only down 4 despite the cold shooting so far at home.
Could have fooled me by looking at some of his reactions.
Does not look happy at all, but it could be a lot worse than down 4 right now.
Absolutely. Levine lost his footing. Here's Stiles. The senior has it with numbers. Dropped it off to Regan, and he was fouled on the way to the basket.
I thought Regan walked. He did not catch that ball very well. Covered about 10 feet, it looked like, before he put it to the floor. However, off the steal, a good break opportunity. Here it is. Let's check it out. Ryan Stiles right where you want your point guard, in the middle. right here, it looks to me like Mr. Regan walked with that ball. Nevertheless, good hard drive, draws the foul, and that's where you can get some transition before the defense can set up.
Now you see players, no matter what the level of basketball, college, NBA, some, if they have the face mask, they'll balance it up on top of their forehead. I think Sean is just at the point, you know what, I better just get used to this thing.
Strap it on. 24 minutes a game, the former walk-on, now a scholarship player. He's the kind of kid that you just really love to see in college basketball. Hard worker, lets it all hang out there. Getting minutes and making a contribution.
Earned it, gets a couple of free throws, and you're right, it's 7-5. Hartford has one field goal, but it's a 2-point game as Albany and Hartford battle here on the America East Game of the Week.
Dreams become reality with a plan for new discoveries and unforgettable moments, a plan for success. To be an athlete in the America East Conference means striving for individual goals on the court and off, but also being part of the team on the court and off. We are the America East, 10 schools, 10 teams, striving for success.
Who are you?
What are your team colors?
Who can make you cheer?
Who can bring your family and friends together?
And play your fight song?
Who can bring you to your feet?
Or bring you to your knees?
When the game is on the line, who do you want to take the last shot?
And who do you want to slap high fives, jump up and down, and yell at the top of your lungs with?
There's probably a game near you today. NCAA basketball. Who's your team?
Two-point game here at Hartford. Spend a great weekend in one of America's best cities. Join us in Boston March 5th through 7th for the 2004 Choice Hotels International America East Conference Men's Basketball Championship. Get your ticket package now for the best available seat at Boston University's Walter Brown Arena. Call the box office or log on to americaeast.com for your tickets.
Always a fun tournament. Vermont certainly leading the way right now, and BU is your sort of your favorites, but always a fun tournament at the end of the year. The automatic bid to the NCAA hanging in the balance.
Well, I can't figure this league out at the moment. Chilly start, I'd say.
I'll say the turnovers, cold shooting by both teams. Larry Harrison continues to try with some pressure to see if he can pick his team's intensity level up and get some transition basketball going.
It's going to be Albany ball. Vermont is in first place in the league, but then you've got, we saw last week on the Game of the Week, UNH beat Binghamton, then Binghamton blew out Northeastern in Boston, and Northeastern's the same team that beat West Virginia, and West Virginia's the team that beat Boston College. So,
go figure.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
Go figure.
Iati figures in the scoring column for the first time. He knocks down the three. It's a 5-point lead for the Great Danes.
He can be streaky. Let's see if he gets it going, and Stuy's on the bench right now, so Larry Harrison going to his bench with Rich Baker. And Aaron Cook has just been muzzled so far by Courtney Johnson. Great defense.
Look inside. We haven't heard much from Bo Taylor yet. He's trying to find a mark. Levine has it for Albany. 10-5 Great Danes. Baker, freshman out of Frederick, Maryland, wearing number 22. He's the one with an eye on Iati down low. Levine, Taylor out there on Levine. Matchup of good young players and a hand check on Taylor. They're bodying up a little bit, and Taylor took a little bit too far, grabbed some jersey.
He was really bodying up. Also, he was in his jersey, 25 feet from the goal. Bo Taylor, good-looking athletic freshman, top freshman rebounder in the conference, and coming off 2 double-doubles for Hartford.
He was expected to be the backup to Parker this year. Wasn't going to get a lot of time. They were going to work him into the system, but here he is, a starter, freshman out of Reston, Virginia.
University of Hartford foul. Number 34, his second personal foul, 6 on 3.
Well, Bo Taylor has picked up 2 quick ones here.
He's going to have to sit two with 10:39 to go. Larry Harrison does not want his freshman picking up a quick third. Those two happen in a hurry.
Now Taylor reluctantly finding a spot on the bench, but he sits down with the 2 fouls. That's 16 fouls on Hartford. Albany to bring it in.
Well, free throws could be big today, and Albany at 75%, your top free throw shooting team in the conference.
Iati play off the inbound, couldn't get it to go. Here's Stiles with it, finds Cook. Look at Albany getting back defensively. Cook trying to 3, no, and 1 and done this trip for the Hawks. Johnson tries to move inside on Stiles, and Johnson's the one who touched it last. It's Hartford ball.
Both teams turning it over, unable to capitalize. Aaron Cook and Ryan Stiles yet to score for Hartford. Those guys coming off 21 and 22 respectively in their last game. So Will Brown with the tight defense working very, very well so far against the Hartford backcourt.
(10-5) Albany, approaching the halfway mark, first half.
It's like a special defense right now on Aaron Cook. Why the opening is there for Rich Baker. He'll take it.
Averaging 3 a game, had 22 minutes off the bench Friday in Dartmouth. That's up above his season average, and now a steal by Regan. Cook and Stiles on the break. Cook looking for the range, still can't find it. And here's Albany. Cook, the leading scorer for this Hartford team at 14 points a game. So far held scoreless on 0 of 2 shooting.
If I was Cook, I would have found a way to get that one to the goal. Either score or get fouled and get yourself with some momentum. But he chose to take the jumper and continues to be a bit frustrated.
Stiles and Levine, the matchup on the perimeter. Knotts trying to move.
Nice pass.
Yep, found the open man. Iati can't leave him open, but he can't find the 3. And a foul called on Albany. I think it's St Hillaire who got tangled up inside.
That's a great pass to Iati. Iati frustrated. He just cannot find the range. 1 for 5 from 3-point land.
The foul was on Levine. They give it to Levine, so that's his 2nd personal foul. That's a big foul there.
Check this angle out. Rich Baker with that nice drive. No help out.
Somebody has to tell Rich that's our slam cam.
Oh, baby.
He's got to elevate a little bit.
Hey, in this game, he'll take the deuce.
Absolutely.
Dropped it through. It counts.
Run down the other side, play some D.
Good penetration.
Stiles, Baker. Thought about it. Ooh, nifty little dribble. Look away pass down low, but Regan couldn't do anything with it. Skip it over to Baker. Baker's been active here. Another good look as Zimichkis took it inside and got the contact. Well, Baker's been a bit of a spark for this Hartford team. Team looking for a spark.
He's done a nice job. Off the bench, some penetration. See if you can get your backcourt people penetrating. You draw 2 defenders. And Zimichkis does the rest, trying to get it to the goal, draw some contact, penetrate, look for open people, then maybe you get that open shot that you've been trying to find in this first half. Get the 3 guard alignment out there for Hartford. Stiles back in with Cook, but great defense so far. Neither guy on the board yet for Hartford.
1 of 2 for Zimichkis. 10-8, Albany on top by 2. Levine on the bench with 2 fouls. Let's see how long Will Brown leaves him there. I think a lot of it has to do with what happens on the scoreboard, and the scoreboard's about to change as Baker comes away to lay it in for 2 more.
Yeah, the turnovers, if anything, have been hurting Albany in this first half. Otherwise, they've got to like the pace of this game. Low scoring, half-court style with the limited bench that Albany has. This is the kind of pace they wanted today.
Remember Will Brown saying keep it in the 50s. They have a good chance.
Might be in the 40s the way we're going right now.
Johnson fouled. He'll go to the line. There you see Will, 4th youngest coach in Division I. 2nd full season at Albany. He thinks, and he knew it before the season started, they were really a year away from playing the kind of ball he wants to play, getting the players up to speed. He's got a couple of good transfers coming in next year. And Lucius Jordan out of Loyola of Maryland, and Colony High School in the Capital District, and Kirsten Zollner, transfer from Boston College. They're available next year. They're available to practice right now, which is good. You're looking for guys who can fill out a 5-on-5. And they're available to work with the team, but they can't play the next year. And he thinks with Wilson coming back next year and Levine, gonna have a lot of options.
See Courtney Johnson's numbers from the last game, 17 against Stony Brook. It takes a while, Eric, to build a Division I program. And Will Brown doing a good job with this club. Young, depleted, injured, keeping them in ball games, and they're playing hard here today.
Yeah, Brown says they're hard workers, upbeat. That's made a tough year easier to handle. Baker tries it again with Bosley. Bosley gets the 2. Well, they're determined before to find Bosley on the post. Remember, he got called for that foul a couple minutes ago, but that time he converts the second look.
That was a great pass by Baker. He dumped it inside. Baker's been terrific off the bench in his first half for Larry Harrison. And again, low-scoring, grinding type game right here. And that's right, with Levine on the bench. Other people have to step up right now.
Iati leaned in looking for contact. Didn't get any. Didn't get the hoop either. 12-11, Hartford on top by 1. Styes, skip it over. Baker. Taylor back in there with those 2 fouls for Hartford.
Here's the matchup right there. Courtney Johnson on number 4, Aaron Cook. He's top left of your picture in the top corner. Just face guarded him and denied him. And very difficult. And Ryan Styes, top 2 scorers. Neither one of them have scored yet with this tight D.
But Baker's provided a spark. Shot clock winding down. Tries the 3 and knocks it down from about, what, 25?
Baker's been terrific. Styes and Cook really denied. Somebody else has to step up, and it's been Baker off the bench.
The freshman with 7. It's a new career high, and it's all come here in the opening 13 minutes. Iati.
Always a backbreaker, too, when you play good defense and someone scores right at the end. Good
desperation
defense.
Heave, right. Hartford has it. 4-point lead, 6:35 to go first half. Of course, get into Baker's hands. You're going to have to recognize that on the Albany side. St Hillaire watching him. Now they switch off in the zone as Baker moves to the corner. Nice look inside and the lay-in for 2. Cook not getting it done with the scoring, but that's just as good right there.
Well, you talk about depth. Lewis Bosley and Rich Baker have combined now for 11 points in this first half, which is huge. Whereas Albany really relying on their starters, and with Levine out, a nice little surge by the Hawks. Beautiful look. A lot of pressure on Cook. Courtney Johnson is not helping at all. There's a lot of attention. Todd Martin pulled up into the middle of the lane and just gets away from his man. Got to communicate when the big people slide in behind. And Lewis Bosley found that seam. Good job by the Hawks. Well, no question going into this game, Will Brown said we've got to deny Aaron Cook. He's coming off a 21-point game against Dartmouth, and Johnson just hasn't worried about helping out. It's been total denial. Don't let him get the ball. A couple of times they've gone into a box and 1 in this first half. Done the job on him. See, other people get opportunities, though, when people like Rich Baker and Lewis Bosley have capitalized on their openings.
Levine back in there with the 2 fouls, guarded by Styes.
I always like the game plan which says someone's got a very strong player. Let's try to take that guy out or neutralize him and see if other people will step up. Puts the pressure on others.
Johnson, turnover. Styes has it. Up court, Cook, last touched by Johnson. Timeout. 5:48 to go here in the first half. It's a 12-1 run for Hartford. They're up by 6 on their home floor.
It's really great. It's just a vibrant, lively, energetic place with lots going on all the time.
There's an overabundance of people who are ambitious, motivated, interested in learning, as well as going out and having a good time.
Community service is a big thing for us because you can go home and say, I made someone's day today. And it's just a feeling unlike any other.
The school has a pretty small size, and it has a very open and friendly campus. I think those two fit together perfectly to create an atmosphere where anyone just wants to be there.
I think because we're a growing, changing, young university, it just offers unparalleled opportunity.
Hartford leads by 6 here in the first half. It's been a great weekend here at the University of Hartford. Last night they hosted a hot stove dinner, and the guest of honor was none other than University of Hartford alumnus Jeff Bagwell. They retired his number. Of course, Bagwell was a standout here many moons ago for the Hawks, and there you see Bagwell, who was here last night getting his number retired, and talking to some of the Hartford people here today. Said, great guy, happy to be back here and be back at his alma mater to visit with some of the current Hartford Hawk players. Hey,
it shows you what can be done. He's a dynamite ball player, played right here at Hartford. That's a great story, too, of course, with the Red Sox. They're always like, wow, I can't believe we traded that guy. See, he hits 40 home runs every year for Houston, you know?
Bagwell finally gets to play with Roger Clemens, but it wasn't with the Red Sox. It's now with the Astros, so.
Yeah, he's been terrific. What a great, great story for the Hawks to have a guy in the big leagues with his kind of career.
And to come back home here to Hartford. Iati got it, fired it up. No. Knotts battling for the rebound, couldn't get it. Here come the Hawks. Out to Stiles. Cook trying to find the range, and he finally knocks it down.
Well, been closely guarded this whole half, but give him credit. He's kept his poise, hasn't forced it. He finally gets that first bucket to go, and Hartford pulling away right here in a very, very low-scoring first half.
It's a 15-1 run for the Hawks, and we just talked about it, Ron, how they went on a big run against Dartmouth. Slow start, last time out for Hartford, go on the run, take a lead, and that's what we've seen here against Albany, and a steal by Taylor.
That's the 10th of the first half by Albany, and with Levine, their top scorer, on the bench, no one stepping up for the Great Danes, and suddenly they are stepping up for Hartford, though. There's Stiles.
18-1 run for Ryan Stiles and the Hartford Hawks, and a timeout called by Albany.
Well, Albany's played some pretty good defense in this first half, but right now the opening starting to be there for Hartford, and you've suddenly got Cook and Stiles making their first baskets in succession. Last two trips, both of them 3 balls. And the threes really haven't been there, but suddenly Hartford 3 for 7 from three-point land, make a few baskets. And for Hartford, keep playing good defense, turn Albany over if you can, which is what they've done. And if you're Will Brown in that timeout, hey guys, got to get it to the rack. We've got to stay with the good defense. Let's get it back into a single-figure game and see if we can get something to the goal and maybe get ourselves a couple of free throws. Just 11 points so far for the Great Danes in this first half.
Well, this is nothing new for Albany. They've faced adversity and they faced some deficits, and they've been able to battle. So let's see if the Great Danes if there's some fight in the dog here today.
I think there will be. Looks like Levine is back out there. I think Will Brown saying, hey, 2 fouls or no 2 fouls. We need him out there. Don't foul. Let's see if he can get involved in the offense. I like the move.
Last touched by Bosley as he broke up that pass.
Wow.
How cold was it? Did they close the door? I
think once they closed it, 8 for 12 since then for the Hawks. That was a tough start. Both clubs started, and Albany hasn't been able to get out of it. Iati's had some good looks. To his credit, he keeps taking them, but hopefully for him, a couple will start to go.
Baker called for the foul as the battle around the screen got a little too tight. And 1-1 coming up now for Albany.
I used to find as a shooter, which I've got to go back in my memory banks now to be thinking about this, but Iati with the misses in this first half, if you go to the line, make a couple of free throws, 4 times Rookie of the Year this year in America East, you can get your rhythm going. You still can't find the range, though.
Missed the front end. Stiles, tried to get it in there to Bosley on the run, but it was read by Albany. Turnover, Hartford. 8 turnovers now for the Hawks.
A lot of trapping, a lot of mixed defenses by Hartford in this first half. Nicely done. And Iati just ice cold.
Iati missed the 3. It's knocked out of bounds. It will be Albany ball when we come back to the Chase Family Arena here in West Hartford with the Hawks up by 12. Stay tuned for the Choice Hotels International Halftime Report. Today we'll have a quick visit with the head coaches to get their thoughts, and then we'll learn a little more about Hartford's newest 1,000-point scorer, Ryan Stiles. Many thought he couldn't cut it at the Division I level. 4 years and 98 starts later, he's answered all doubts. All on the Choice Hotels International Halftime Report. I'm going to ask, it's something to think about. What do you think Ryan wants to do after his basketball career is over?
Sports commentator?
No, no. Everybody else in the world wants to be.
The other thing, of course, is you see with a lot of media guides these days, guys want to continue playing basketball.
Yep. No, there's a lot of opportunities, but Ryan has other ideas, and you'll find out during the halftime report.
Check it out for Albany, how the last 7+, no points, get it to the rack, get it inside, try to make something happen down low. The jumper just hasn't been there for the Great Danes in this first half.
19 on the shot clock as Hartford picks up the intensity on the defensive end.
And with Levine out there, they may look for him. 2-3 by the Hawks. Levine right there with the ball would be one of the big answers. Nice pass.
They find Johnson, but it's rejected by Bosley.
Just when Albany thinks they've got the opening. Bosley's played very well off the bench in this first half. Check it out, great timing. Bosley back in the lineup. He's another guy that has battled through injuries this season for Hartford. Nice timing and rejection, but it is still Albany basketball on the out of bounds.
Iati, little hop step inside, and that ends the run. It was an 18-1 run for Hartford. 10-point game. Taylor, no, rebound Levine. Off the miss, Hartford drops back behind half court, and Iati can walk it up with 3 minutes to play first half.
I think for Albany, if they can have this a single-digit game at halftime, there's still plenty of time in the first half. That'll be an accomplishment with the way they've shot here in this first 20 minutes.
Levine just with 2 points here in the first half, 0 of 4 from the floor, and a Hartford turnover. Is it going to be a bookend first half? This is how the first half began for Hartford. Couldn't take care of the basketball, couldn't convert.
I don't know, they had that good run. They really picked up the pace with the defense. I think that's been the key for Hartford. Mixing up the defenses and confusing Albany, getting some turnovers. And for Albany, they've been struggling out of the half-court set the whole first half. Some nice trapping right now by the Hawks.
Johnson lost his footing. St Hillaire couldn't get it. Rebound Hartford.
There's one and you're done for Albany this whole half. One shot, and it's been Hartford basketball.
Sinichkis picked it up. Cook firing it up. Got it for 3. 6 points for Aaron Cook. He's made his last 2 threes. He's the shooter. He's taken the most of this Hartford team, made the most from outside the arc.
Well, now you know why Will Brown has had Courtney Johnson face guarding him the whole first half. He got 2 quick looks. He just fired them right through. Great touch.
Iati, Levine had an open look at the 3, but he's missed a couple. Now this is where he does his best work. Didn't get the basket to go, though, and didn't get the hoop, and now back behind the play. Ford gets up to throw it down.
Oh. Charles Ford saying, I can send it down with the big boys. Big boys, I might be 5'11", but I've got some spring.
5'11" and a timeout. That means we get a chance to see if our slam cam was up and operating. Whoa. As Charles Ford, the sophomore.
Wow.
I'm told it's not. You're kidding me.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he got up on that one. It's been the defense, hasn't it,
you know
for Hartford?
This will be just as good. Ground level. Let's see what he did.
5'11", the 2-foot spring action, vertical leap. And then afterwards, kind of the slow down saying, yep, I can get up there. Charles Ford sat out last year. A couple years ago as a freshman. Played very well for the Hawks. Had a 30-point game against Vermont. That was an exclamation point. Hawks by 15 after a very tight ball game early.
Well, what a loud response here from Charles Ford out of Maryland. Yeah, we got it on tape, Charles. Don't worry.
We got it.
We'll show that over and over. That's a permanent addition to the America East highlight reel.
Now the strength of this Hartford team clearly in the backcourt with Stiles and Cook. Charles Ford and Rich Baker have done a nice job with some good action inside. But that backcourt has really done a nice job in this first half.
Knots to Johnson. Let's see what Albany does out of that timeout. They're left with 2 timeouts. Johnson to reset. Less than 10 on the shot clock. Trying to create. Nice look inside. St Hillaire for 2.
Again, penetrating, does good things, and Courtney Johnson set the table right there.
Aquawasi St Hillaire, the leading scorer for this Albany team with 6 points. 13-point game. Styes with it. Less than a minute to play. First half. Cook.
Nice pass.
Dished it down. Everything but the hoop. Taylor, second chance here. That couldn't go down. And St Hillaire comes away with Johnson. Albany has it. They do have to shoot. 5-second difference between shot and game.
Neither team very big. You've got a lot of 6'5", 6 guys battling away. And for Albany, they just want to see if they can bring a little momentum into the locker room. It's been a tough offensive first half. See if they can end with something positive going to the goal.
Iati to Levine. Levine and Styes. Double team comes. Iati free for 3. Got it.
Big basket. Way to stay in there if you're Iati. Big basket for the Great Danes.
Final 5 seconds. Styes takes it, leans in. Count it. Oh, and the foul is on Albany. Chance for a 3-point play.
Is the senior veteran working it right down to 1 second. Jerell Parker clapping, looking on. Beautiful move by Styes. That's where the veteran helps so much. Hey, he scored his 1,000th point this year on a game-winning basket against Sam Houston State on a driving layup. What a great finish right there.
He'll reenact that hoop against Sam Houston State for us during the halftime report. Similar to that, but it was right-handed and at the buzzer. This one beats the first half buzzer by 1.1 second. Styes converts on the 3-point play. He has 6. Some last-second substitutions here to deny the inbound by St Hillaire. 1.1 to go here for Albany. As they'll try something. Johnson has it, dribbles it out, and that's the end of the first half. 31-18 our score at the break. An 18-1 run by Hartford. The difference, and Ryan Styes, the senior, leaning in to close out the half on a strong note. We're back after this.
It's really great. It's just a vibrant, lively, energetic place with lots going on all the time.
There's an overabundance of people who are ambitious, motivated, interested in learning, as well as going out and having a good time.
Community service is a big thing for us because you can go home and say, I made someone's day today. And it's just a feeling unlike any other.
The school has a pretty small size, and it has a very open and friendly campus. I think those two fit together perfectly to create an atmosphere where anyone just wants to be there.
I think because we're a growing, changing, young university, it just offers unparalleled opportunity.
We're back here in Hartford with Larry Harrison at halftime, 31-18. Coach, an 18-1 run for your team. What was the difference? What sparked that run?
Well, once we got our defense going, it created offense for us. We have a hard time scoring the ball. You know, we're not a great offensive team, so we have to create offense from our defense. And once we made a couple of baskets, it allowed us to, you know, do some trapping and put pressure on the ball so that we can get some easy baskets.
Larry, in the same context of that defense, your guards did a nice job. You used 3 guards quite a bit in the first half. Should we look for more of that in the second half?
Yeah, Rich Baker really came in and picked us up and did a great job. And at one point during the season, we played a lot of 3 guards, and it seemed to be working well for us. As long as we keep pressure on the ball and make some easy baskets, we'll be okay.
Larry, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Larry Harrison, head coach for the Hartford Hawks. Halftime here at the Chase Family Arena, 31-18. Back with the profile of Ryan Styes when the Choice Hotels International Halftime Report returns. We're back here in Hartford with Larry Harrison at halftime, 31-18. Coach, an 18-1 run for your team. What was the difference? What sparked that run?
Well, once we got our defense going, it created offense for us. We have a hard time scoring the ball. You know, we're not a great offensive team, so we have to create offense from our defense. And once we made a couple of baskets, it allowed us to, you know, do some trapping and put pressure on the ball so that we can get some easy baskets.
Larry, in the same context of that defense, your guards did a nice job. You used 3 guards quite a bit in the first half. Should we look for more of that in the second half?
Yeah, Rich Baker really came in and picked us up and did a great job. And at one point during the season, we played a lot of 3 guards, and it seemed to be working well for us. As long as we keep pressure on the ball and make some easy baskets, we'll be okay.
Larry, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Larry Harrison, head coach for the Hartford Hawks. Halftime here at the Chase Family Arena, 31-18. Back with the profile of Ryan Stiles when the Choice Hotels International Halftime Report returns. Be a little. Welcome back to the Choice Hotels International Halftime Report. At the half, it's 31-18 Hartford. Ryan Stiles scoring the final 3 points of the first half for the Hawks. He is the ultimate overachiever. Many people from his home state of New Hampshire didn't think he'd be a Division I player, but he's been in the America East longer than 4 teams at this point, and he's been a 4-year starter.
A lot of people when I came here didn't think I was going to be able to play here. At the Division I level. You know, a lot of people from where I was from didn't think I was too small, too slow, all that. And it's nice to show that hard work pays off and to prove people wrong. Coach Harrison just came in that summer, and I think I started out practice probably the 3rd string point guard. And I'm sure there were times I said to myself, oh man, maybe this isn't it. Maybe I'll just make it through this year.
To a T. Every coach that I spoke to about Ryan Stiles told me that he would never play for me.
I worked hard like I always have, and I was rewarded.
About the 2nd week, I said to my staff, I said, yeah, you know who's going to be our starting point guard. And we all looked at each other. We said, Ryan Stiles.
My game, I would have to say just outworking people, because I don't think every time I step on the court that I'm the fastest guy, I can't jump the highest, I'm not the quickest, you know. So in order for me to be good at this, I have to work hard. This year down at a tournament in Miami, we had against Sam Houston State, hit the game-winning shot and scored 26 points. So, and actually the last shot was my 1,000th point. I got the ball over here on the wing. I drove to the paint, came in, and there were about, I think it must have been about 3 big guys around me. And I thought about kicking out, but I didn't know how much time was left, so I just took it in my right hand and squeezed it out. There you go, right there. That's exactly what it looks like, because it went off the glass, too. As a senior, I would hope that my team takes on my personality. Tough, hard, you know, nitty-gritty, and always working for what you get. Nothing comes easy. I'm actually in the process of applying to law school. I think I have the mentality to do it, you know? I think it takes a competitor to be a lawyer, and I think I'm a big competitor. I can be ruthless, I guess. The appeal to me is it's almost like a sport. You have to prepare, you know, for your game throughout, and then once your game day comes, you're competing against another guy. You know, and you got to judge as the ref and all that stuff. So
he'll make an excellent attorney. He's going to be successful in whatever he does because he has that competitiveness, that inner drive that, you know, that he's not going to give up.
Six points for the pride of Hooksett, New Hampshire in the first half. His Hawks on top 31-18. Ron and I back to take a look at first half highlights and stats when we come back to West Hartford. We're back on the Choice Hotels International Halftime Report. Eric Freed, Ron Perry, our America East Game of the Week crew here at the Chase Family Arena. 31-18, Hartford on top. At one point in this game, Albany had a 5-point lead, but then Hartford went on an 18-1 run, and they really did it with defense to start to turn things around.
They did. They mixed it up. They put pressure on. They suddenly got some breaks going, got some easy baskets. Albany played tough defense in the first half, but with those breaks, Hartford was able to pull away and really had a good first half.
Really a tough first half for the top scorer for Albany. Levi Levine 0 for 5 from the floor in the first half, so they look elsewhere to try to get some scoring, and they found some here.
Oh, that's right. They didn't get many break opportunities in the first half, but there's one for Albany with St Hillaire getting the job done inside. The freshman, the forward, I should say. And a nice shot there by Iati from the perimeter. Knocked the three down. They'll need more of that from him in the second half, but Hartford came back with some big defense. Bosley off the bench with a great block right there. Aaron Cook, their top three-point shooter, knocked that one down. And a big exclamation point, another guard, Charles Ford, with the up and slam dunk. He loved that one.
Let's go through the numbers, and the three-point numbers are impressive for Hartford. 4 of 8, 50%, but remember, they were 0 for 4 to start, so it's even better when you think, wow, they made their last 4, and that's helped them to this 13-point lead.
Well, improved shooting by Hartford through the half off their defense. They were able to turn Albany over 10 times. Even though they turned it over 9, they converted off those turnovers, controlled the backboards. You've got to get Levine involved if you're Albany in this second half.
And it wasn't perfect, obviously, for Hartford. You see a 13-point lead. They had a lot of trouble holding on to the basketball, especially in the early going in this game. But they got some spark off the bench from a couple of the youngsters.
Oh, that's right. They got a great job by Rich Baker, I thought, off the bench, and Bosley a lift inside. The guards did a good job. Good balanced scoring by Hartford. More depth. Albany with all of their injuries. Not a lot of people that Will Brown can look to when he looks to his left, I think it is, on the bench.
Again, if you're just joining us, 7 players dressed here because of injury for the Albany Great Danes, but it's something they've been dealing with quite a while. What are some of the things that Albany has to do here in the second half to get back in this game?
Well, they've got to get Levine involved. He had a tough first half. He did play 15 minutes, but he had foul difficulties. He's their top scorer. Get him the ball, I think, down low and see if he can draw some action down near the basket.
I'm interested in your opinion, but Will Brown's with us on that set now, so let's check in with the coach. Coach, you had a lead there in the early going, but I guess one of the things you need to do is get your top scorer, Levi Levine, active. He was 0 for 5 from the floor in that first half.
We're not a very good offensive team. We struggle to manufacture points. We need as many easy baskets as we can get, but when we struggle to score, we really need to make sure we clamp down defensively and control the glass. Though we gave Hartford too many easy baskets, and I think offensively, when we're struggling, we at least need to make sure we're getting shots. We can't afford to turn the ball over.
Will, how important the first few minutes of the second half that you get this thing back to a single-digit game and get your guys with some momentum on the offensive end?
First couple of possessions are huge. If we could come out and make the first run and let Hartford know right from the get-go here that we're going to hang around and we expect to win this basketball game. So the first couple of possessions are huge for us. We need to come out and get a stop on the first possession here.
All right, good luck sending that message, Will. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Will Brown, head coach of Albany. We'll get that second half started when we come back to Hartford.
To most, this is just a big Dove suit. To me, this is a big Dove suit that's making darn sure that friendship sour cream is there when something special happens. Take Lisa's game-winning goal, the stuff legends are made of. But no delicious friendship sour cream for her favorite baked potatoes. Just sit idly by? I don't think so. Why do I do it? Is it the fame? The glory? No. It's the look they get when they put an empty spoon in and pull out a spoonful of heaven. All natural, friendship sour cream. One smooth, creamy celebration.
It's really great. It's just a vibrant, lively, energetic place with lots going on all the time.
There's an overabundance of people who are ambitious, motivated, interested in learning, as well as going out and having a good time.
I think because we're a growing, changing, young university, it just offers unparalleled opportunity.
Hartford has a 13-point lead. We're ready to start the second half, and well, Larry Harrison getting the bench ready. Will Brown taking every last second he can, and it's a great point, Ronnie, when you asked Will about those first 2 minutes. You got to put so much emphasis on that to send the message. You're not going to make that 13-point deficit up in those first 2 minutes, but you can lay the groundwork for the rest of the half.
Absolutely. You know, you're down 13. You would have liked to have gone into the locker room in single figures. So I think right now, you don't panic, but if you're Albany, you need a stop, as Coach Brown said, and then you want to convert your first couple of times. For Hartford, you want to see if you can get this thing to a 20-point game within the first 5 minutes.
Aaron Cook for the Hawks. Out to Bo Taylor.
Albany played good defense in the first half, man-to-man in the half-court set. They got hurt when they turned it over, and Hartford pushed the ball up the floor.
Stiles for Cook. You know, Hartford found the range from outside the arc, 4 for 4 from three-point land there. The second part of the first half, off the miss. One and done this trip here for Hartford, and here comes Albany.
Well, Albany accomplished its goal. They got a stop on the first try. We'll see if they can convert and tighten this game up. It's like man-to-man by the Hawks. Both teams have played very tough D in this ball game. That's actually a 1-3-1 zone by Hartford as they continue to mix it up here today.
Iati to Levine, 10 on the shot clock. He tries to go to work, tries to split the double team. Styes tried to save, but stepped on the baseline with 7 on the shot clock.
Well, the zone that time, Levine says, I'm going to try to just force it in there. Good no call, but he's trying to create some contact to see if he can get to the line and get a couple of points on the board for his team.
They look for Johnson. Johnson finds Iati. Iati out to Levine for 3. There's the first field goal of the game for Levi Levine, and it's a 3-pointer.
Well, that's big right there. It gets it to a 10-point game, gets Levine going. He had such a tough first half offensively, and that's the formula that Will Bryant talked about. Get a stop, get a score, and we'll see if Hartford can respond.
Regan.
It has been a struggle today for Hartford out of the half-court set. This looks like early in the game when they were having trouble getting their offense going against the tough man-to-man.
Styes looks down low for Taylor, knocked away. 3 on the shot clock here for the Hawks.
And that's why if you heard Larry Harrison at halftime, he said we need to keep mixing up our defenses and changing them to try to create turnovers and get some easy baskets. The Great Danes are pretty tough in this half-court man-to-man set.
Zinichkis didn't get it off.
Yeah, you're right, no shot.
Shot clock violation, so it's Albany ball. So 2 trips for Albany. They've come up empty. They've gotten the 3 from Levine on the other end. It's a 10-point game, and they have the ball.
I think there's always something about a single-digit game. If you're down 15, 18 points, or 13, as was the case for Albany at halftime, something about getting it single digits feels like it's within striking distance.
Levine takes the hop inside. No, that was close, though. Rebound comes down to Taylor.
Good look. That's a push. That's a hand check. That's a stiff arm.
That takes hand check to another level.
Here you go.
First foul of the second half. And they'll inbound on the side.
Courtney Johnson, though, committed that foul, has really been doing a good job denying Aaron Cook, the basketball player, the fine outside shooter for the Hawks.
2 personals on Courtney. Cook hops inside, goes to the left to get the 2.
Well, if you're playing someone that tightly, Cook does the right thing. If you're a shooter, got to get that man's respect and beat him off the dribble as he did right there.
Wyatt out to Levine. St Hillaire led Albany in scoring. Double team comes. Turnover out of the double team. Styes across half court for Hartford. The lead back up to 12. Cook trying to make it 14, too strong. But Regan gets a second chance for the Hawks. And Styes will settle it down.
Regan just does that, you know, that dirty work for you under the boards if you're Hartford. Works hard, get the mask on, get the look of the intimidator.
Styes floats it up there, in and out. Rebound grab by St Hillaire for Albany. 33-21, second half here. Just about 3.5 minutes in. This is exactly where Albany wants the score to be. They want it to be a low-scoring game, keep it tight. Now can they get over the hump, get it back down to single digits?
This is the pace they want. They just wish they had the 33 rather than the 21 in this game.
Yeah, they take all the air out of the ball if that was the case. Now they're just trying to find the right shot. Not very good offensively, although Iati has a way to spark things from outside the arc. Not that time, but a reset. And another chance here for the Great Danes.
Give Iati credit. The shot hasn't been there today, but he keeps working. That was a good look that time.
Levine and Taylor in the man-to-man matchup. Levine kicks it out to Johnson. Levine inside, no, follow. St Hillaire couldn't get it. Regan pulls it away for the Hawks, and here comes Hartford on the run, leading by 12.
Albany just hasn't been able to establish anything inside this afternoon.
Taylor, and before the shot, traveling violation. Turnover, Hartford. Nothing comes easy for either team in this game. It's a 12-point lead for Hartford here on their home floor. They led by 13 at the half.
Catch all the America East action in January at the Rack. For more information, call 442-4683.
The one and only Casey Jones here at courtside. He's the color commentator for Hartford radio broadcast. Works the games with Dan Lavallo, and he's been doing it for 4 years. He's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, where do you want to start with KC? The NCAA championships with San Francisco, Olympic gold medal, the NBA championships as a player with the Celtics, 2 as a head coach in Boston. And
the thing about KC is he always won, and you just rattled it off. He was always, as a player and coach, associated with winners. And chatted with him before the game. I guess he's singing a few tunes as well.
Oh, he's got quite the voice.
This group from the Boston area. He's got the CDs going, huh?
Well, apparently when Hartford travels, they go looking for karaoke bars and lounges, and Casey takes the mic, and it's legit. I mean, he does everything well, and is a great addition here to the Hartford program. Works in the athletic department and enjoys working the radio games and being around the kids.
He was obviously a fiery competitor, but I always liked his sort of low-key and unassuming
great demeanor. Yeah. Great demeanor, great defensive player, and all you need to know is that the number 25 hangs from the rafters at the Fleet Center.
Absolutely.
Wyatt's getting the 2. Chris Wyatt, his first points of the game, finally healthy this year. Remember last year he had plantar fasciitis, couldn't practice at all last year, could barely play, but he's out there and been playing well this year, has been healthy. That's his first 2 of the game. Styes can't hit. Rebound pulled down by Regan.
Nice job by Regan, another 35. That last trip for Albany, one of the few points in the paint they've gotten this afternoon. They need more of that. And for Hartford, they've got to keep the pressure on.
Styes out to Aaron Cook. Cook takes it straight through for 2. He has speed and quickness. We've seen that. And he finished. He's up into double figures with 10.
Courtney Johnson saying, man, I'm working hard in the perimeter. He got by me, but how about a little bit of help? Let's step in and try to take that penetration away.
12-point lead for the Hawks. Entry pass, St Hillaire, counted, and the foul. Well, there's some offense on the inside.
That's a nice, just high-low kind of pass. You get your big people involved and drop that ball down. Sean Regan again with that mask. See, I like it when the big guys get involved here. Nice look, the drop down. See, big people can see over the defense and drop it down to other big people. So that was really well done. First time we've seen that look today.
St Hillaire, quite a story as he converts on the 3-point play. Grew up in Grenada, was a cricket player. Moved to Brooklyn during his high school years, and here he is, a basketball player. Another walk-on, played junior college at SUNY Delhi in New York, and has made an impact here today with 9 points. We're going the other way.
And you got to give Albany credit. They've battled back in games this year. They've been in a lot of tight, close games that have not gone their way, but they've done what they need to do to get themselves back into this ball game to start the second half. The pace is theirs, and they've got it single digits right now.
With the ball. And if Levine catches fire, then they'll be in business. Or how about Iati for three? Yes!
Well done. Well done. Good ball movement, some gambling by Hartford. Iati stays with it. Got to give him credit.
Down to 6, and Larry Harrison is going to go back to the spark off the bench. Rich Baker's going to come in.
Iati really limping after that shot coming down, holding the sort of the back of his left leg. I don't know if it's his hamstring or not, Eric, but he's definitely in some pain. There's the ball movement. Courtney Johnson, the penetration, nicely done. Iati, the top three-point shooter on the team. And when you get an open look like that, the percentages go way up that you can get the make.
So Albany has whittled it down to 6. We hope you'll tune in for more America East basketball action this coming Wednesday when the Crew heads to Boston for women's hoop. The defending champs of America East, Boston University, hosting Stony Brook. Check your local listings for game times and carriers, or visit on the air at americaeast.com for Wednesday's America East action. Talked about trying to figure out things in the men's race. Yes, Vermont's at the top of the pack, but University of Hartford women, Jen Rosati's squad, playing so well until they were upset here at home by Albany yesterday. Albany's first ever road win in America East play. So you got the last place team, or team near the bottom, knocking off a team at the top. Shows you anything can happen in the women's race in America East.
I mean, you got to love that when you've got the balance, when anything is possible, anything can happen. Certainly got that kind of possibilities in the men's conference as well this year. Always makes the tournament fun at the end too, when anything can happen. It's a good battle here this afternoon. Albany down 13 at the half, have cut this thing to 6.
And Iati's still limping.
He really is. He's not coming out though. He's averaging 40 minutes a game. There's nowhere to go, John. Just rested, come on back. Look at the way he has started this second half.
So Iati with those 9 points here in the second half. I think for Will Brown, if you remember Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you'd have to be like the Black Knight with limbs off your body to come out of the game at this point.
That's right. You're going just
a limp is nothing for Albany at this point.
Yeah, the coach doesn't even look. The training staff doesn't even acknowledge you unless you're really down. A good battle, man-to-man by the Great Danes. They continue to play good half-court defense. They've got to keep the game this kind of pace.
Off the miss, and the battle by Courtney Johnson. One and done for Hartford that trip. 6-point game, Albany with the ball.
See, for Hartford, they need a couple of scores. Rich Baker back in. Boy, was he a catalyst for Hartford in the first half. See if he can do it again.
They have him all over Iati. Now Stiles is watching Johnson. Inside it goes to Knotts, and he lost it out of bounds. Hartford ball.
He stepped on the baseline down there as Will Brown kind of looks on, pleads his case.
Well, that's one thing. Albany cannot afford to turn the ball over. They have 12 now in the game, but down the stretch here, final 12.5 minutes, they're going to have to be perfect in taking care of the basketball to stay in this game on the road.
Yeah, when they have turned it over, Hartford's tended to get some good looks in the open court. 3-guard lineup. This was effective in the first half for Hartford.
Ford tried to feed it inside. Battle for the loose ball. Tie up, and the possession arrow pointing Albany's way.
There's Sean Regan again in the middle of any kind of scrap for the ball. He just lets it all hang out down there for the Hawks.
Now Larry Harrison wants his team to put some pressure on. Ford all alone in the backcourt. Boy, he was getting the look from his head coach after trying to force that entry pass. As Larry Harrison has had some moments where he's loved what he's seen with an 18-1 run, and he's had some moments he'd like to erase from the coach's tape. Lost out of bounds. It's going to be Hartford ball when we come back. You know they have the shooter in the freshman out of Pennsylvania, Jon Iati. That's enough to keep any team in the game, and he's been doing that for Albany.
It's really great. It's just a vibrant, lively, energetic place with lots going on all the time.
There's an overabundance of people who are ambitious, motivated, interested in learning, as well as going out and having a good time.
Community service is a big thing for us because you can go home and say, I made someone's day today. And it's just a feeling unlike any other.
school has a pretty small size, and it has a very open and friendly campus. I think those two fit together perfectly to create an atmosphere where anyone just wants to be there.
I think because we're a growing, changing, young university, it just offers unparalleled opportunity.
There you see Jamar Wilson, Rookie of the Year in the America East Conference last year. He was injured on December 29th, had his surgery to fracture a fractured right patella. But I talked to Jamar before the game. He said he started running a couple of weeks ago, physical therapy and some pool work. But to give you an idea of how things are going for Albany this year, he said he was poked in the eye playing Marco Polo in the pool yesterday.
Oh,
when it rains, it pours for Albany.
Can't catch a break.
But Jamar says he's feeling well and hopes to stay healthy, and we hope to see him. Dynamic player, a lot of fun to watch last year for this Albany team.
The America East Rookie of the Year. Last year averaged just under 19 a game, and another turnover there as Hartford seems to be having a lot of trouble in the second half getting in sync offensively.
That comes out of the timeout, a turnover for Hartford.
That's really frustrating as a coach because you just drew up a play. Nice pass.
That works for Albany as Levine works it inside to St Hillaire, who has 11, and it's a 4-point game.
Boy, great job by Will Brown's Albany club to play defense in this second half, control the pace, make shots, everything to get themselves right back in this ball game.
You can see Ryan Stiles wants the ball in his hands. He tried to create off the dribble.
Nice look inside, just really beat Hartford down the floor that time. Beautiful pass.
You got to be prepared when Levi passes the ball. He's thrown some hard passes today. I mean, he puts something on it. He makes sure it gets there.
Get your hands ready. The bullet's coming.
Make sure you have soft hands because it's got a little juice on it.
The big thing is to just keep your head up running down the floor. Make sure you know when the ball's coming. Nice shot there by Ford.
Well, that's a big 3 for Ford. He has 5, but he had made a couple of iffy decisions passing the ball, and he knocks down that 3 right in front of his head coach. And that stops the run by Albany. It's back to a 7-point lead for Hartford.
Well, what a weapon the 3-point shot is in college basketball.
Levine's defender fell down, and Levi takes advantage. Here he comes. He has 7, had only 2 at the break.
He stepped it up, and Iati has stepped it up in this second half.
Here's Baker. As Ron mentioned, he was the first half spark for this Hartford team. He'll run things from the point.
Both of these teams are really oriented from the perimeter. They just don't have the ability to dump it down inside and get some points on the block. Another turnover.
Well, Larry Harrison can't get Aaron Cook back into the game fast enough as that turnover happens right in front of the Hartford bench. And even though he knocked down that 3, Charles Ford is going to get an earful like Aaron Cook did in the first half. 15 turnovers for Hartford, and remarkably, they still lead by 5. Larry trying to pump up the troops as they dig out on defense here on their home floor.
Albany, a team that has had trouble, though, putting points on the board, so this will be a grind. Oh, nice steal.
Here's the guy who was the spark in the first half, and he comes up with a steal and the 2. He has 9.
Well, if there's a difference in this game, it's been Baker and the bench play for Hartford making up the difference in this game.
Levine lost his dribble, needs some help. Gets it from St Hillaire.
Good job. Defensively, you're taught if your man kills the dribble, everyone else goes into a deny mode. Good job right there by Hartford.
Levine trying to work on Cook. 10 on the shot clock. Iati works off the screen. Double team coming. Someone has to be open at St Hillaire. He's been effective, but he can't hit that time. Picked up by Johnson. Second chance here for the Great Danes with 9.5 to play. Levine for 3. No. Johnson couldn't get there. Baker too quick. Got to it, and he wants to push it right away. That's knocked out of bounds. but Baker not shy to take it to the rack.
Good decision. He went at it aggressively, but an even better reaction by the Albany big people. There's a lot of quickness on the floor. I like the way he's just sort of using Albany's own players as screens. If he could have dumped that one, Backo caught a hand in the eye.
Checking in for the first time for Hartford, Tyler Lang, freshman out of Franklin, Mass. Did not play in the last 7 games, but Lang is out there. Correction, it's Zimnichits who's back in, so he's got the headband on. Zimnichits, number 55. Still Hartford ball with 9:06 to go. Stiles comes around. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Open look, Regan got it. 4 points for the junior out of Illinois.
And let's face it, offensively, if you can work the ball and find the open man, hit those kind of shots, makes it look easy for the coach.
Levine tries to take it at Zimnichis. St. Hillaire ducks inside, in and out, rebound, fought for, and pulled down by the freshman. Hartford in transition with Cook pulling up for 3. Big hoop from sophomore Aaron Cook. It's back to a double-digit lead, a 12-point advantage for Hartford. Timeout, Albany.
Well, Hartford has shown this afternoon that they have the ability to put points together in bunches. They've got the more explosive offensive team. And this guy right here, Aaron Cook, the guy that can put shots together in bunches. He's been defended very well today, but he's up to 13 points now. He's knocked down a few of these threes. He's really the best offensive answer for either club when he gets it going.
Hartford pushed it up and pushed that lead back up to 12. When was the last time you saw America East Conference action in person? Visit AmericaEast.com to football. America East is my conference. This Hartford team on another run. Remember, the Hawks lost in the America East semifinals the last 2 years. So they've made a little noise in the tournament. And they've gone on a few runs in this game. And they've been helped by the 3. It was a slow start. They missed their first 4 from outside the arc, but they're over 50% for the game.
Yeah, Cook and Stiles pick the pace up. It's been a struggle from that distance all afternoon for Albany. Iati, though, can get hot for the Great Danes.
Guarded tightly by Stiles. Levi Levine. Levine working on Regan. Zimnichis comes to help. And an offensive foul called on Albany.
Good call. Levine's trying to make a play there, but he just became too physical as he tried to back Regan down. Check out the left shoulder right there as he picks up number 3. Good take by Regan. Claps the hands, held his ground. Regan's a pretty solid kid, so you're not going to move him that easily.
Baker to Stiles for 3. No. Rebounds. Zimnichis, look at him battle on the boards. Couldn't get it the second time. And the third time it's pulled away by Albany. Bodies hit the floor behind the play.
He's physical underneath. Double foul.
Double foul called just as Albany was turning it over. So Hartford had grabbed it. Double foul called.
Looks like it's on Wyatt and Regan got tangled up, and I think you're going to see a double foul. Did Hartford have possession at that point? They should be able to maintain
just as
it.
the whistle was blowing, Hartford was picking it off. So double foul called. That was called in the first half as well, a double foul. And they went with the possession arrow, but I think they're saying it's Albany ball. The whistle came just as possession was changing, so I think they're going to say it's still Albany ball, although they're moving back down the floor. Bottom line is we do have a timeout. That gives us the opportunity to sort it out during this break. We'll come back. Rich Baker, the freshman. Big spark for Hartford today. They're up by 12.
Catch all the America East action in January at the rack. For more information, call 442-4683.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a correction to the last foul. The foul was not assessed to Hartford's 55, Alex Zimnikis. The foul was charged number 33, Sean Regan. That will be the third personal foul on Regan, second on the Hawks.
Billy, possession this way?
7:41 to go here in the second half. It's 45-33. Hartford on top of Albany. Albany coming off an overtime loss at Stony Brook Wednesday. Took it down to the wire. Overcame a big deficit. They're down 18 at the half. Came back to take a lead. See if they're able to come back here against Hartford, who's won 3 in a row. And they're 1 game below 500, trying to get to the 500 mark. Ron, I was stalling for you to get the explanation.
Hartford possession, because they had possession when you had the double foul.
Okay.
We had a situation in the first half where there was a loose ball, double foul situation. Now you go to your possession arrow.
They went to the possession for the loose ball, but since Hartford had possession here, they have the ball. Okay.
Absolutely. Good job of officiating. There was quite a contact there, collision off the ball last time.
The fouls went to Regan, his third, and Wyatt, his third. That 3 is off the mark. 14 fouls on Albany, 2 team fouls on the Hawks.
Well, the way Albany has struggled to score today, they need to make a run right now with 7 to go. They've got to chip away. They haven't been able to put points together in bunches this afternoon.
Courtney Johnson trying to move on Baker, knocked away, taken away by Styes. Styes has Regan ahead. St Hillaire got back to get the block, and Regan carried it out of bounds. Great hustle by Aquawasi St Hillaire.
Well, not only great hustle, but how about the ability to block that without fouling Regan? Boy, the strip in there. What defense today? Both clubs have really gotten after it. Check this out. He blocks it and then gets it right off of Regan. Regan actually catches it. Albany possession. Great play by St Hillaire.
Well, 6:45 to go now in the second half. Albany needs to score on some of these possessions, down by 12.
Where the defense on Levine has been very good. Cook shading him right now.
Another turnover. We said Albany needed to be perfect with the ball down the stretch. They have not been. Hartford trying to convert with the senior. In and out.
Good look, though. Good look by Styes. He just couldn't get that one to drop down. It went halfway.
Seen that a few times here today. Hartford shooting 39% from the floor. Albany 32% from the floor.
Albany really needs one here. They've got to try to get their big people involved. Get it inside. Levine trying to post up on Styes.
Styes fronting him. They battle, and it goes to the corner. One-on-one battle here, and Zimnikis got tangled up inside with Chris Wyatt, and Alex is going to get called for the foul.
Still not at the bonus. That's just the third Hawk foul in the second half. 4 for Albany. Got to get to 7 to get to the bonus. It did look that time like Albany was going to try to go down low.
They'll restart it. 32 on the shot clock. 6 minutes straight up to go on the game clock. Levine, Iati hasn't been able to shoot in a while, but gets that one to go. It's not a 3, but it's a much needed 2. He has 13.
He is creative, and if you're a 3-point shooter, sometimes you can get the penetration and get the runner to go.
He's 5 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 10 from outside the arc, so he's not shy. A team looking for offense, looking for anything to go offensively. You go to the gunner.
Yeah, he's had to take shots, and again, he knows he's not going to come out because the bench is very thin, so he's just going to shoot his way out of it as opposed to worrying about a miss.
Aaron Cook, he's been very good. Not that time, though. It came off high off the glass, reversing it, and the shot clock expires. Good stand by Albany. Didn't give Hartford much to shoot at that trip.
This has really been a grinding, plodding kind of game. Larry Harrison has had just a more bench to work with here today, which has been a big difference. Mixed the defenses up, and Will Brown just getting his club to hang in there, hoping they've got another burst right now.
Well, this Albany team against Stony Brook in that overtime loss, 4 of the 5 starters played 42 minutes or more. That gives you an idea that these guys will go the distance. Iati Can he heat up one more time to bring Albany back all the way? It's back to a single-digit game. It's 8, the lead now for Hartford.
Got to like the fight in Albany. They keep hanging around. A lot of grit in these guys. They've got to be pretty gassed with the amount of minutes they've been playing lately.
Stiles will dribble it back out. We still have not gotten a team to the 50-point mark, and we're approaching 4.5 to play, and that's the way Will Brown needed it, the way he wanted it. That's the way it's been here. Stiles with 8 on the shot clock.
Doing a pretty good job of working clock, but you need to get a good look.
Baker inside, good look there. Taylor couldn't convert. Rebound pulled down by Bosley, and he was fouled.
Bodies on the floor. This is a physical game down low. A lot of 6'6" guys giving it everything they've got in the paint. Check this out. That's a great catch right there. Good look to Bo Taylor. Check this out. I mean, bodies falling. Oh, that ball just won't have enough English to go in. That's the one where you're standing there saying, come on, roll in, roll in. Bosley with a good job off the bench.
First one is good for Bosley, junior out of New Haven. Didn't play in the first 11 games. He had a knee problem. Just getting back into the rhythm. This is his 5th straight game. Made 1 of 2. Here comes Albany, down by 9.
Between Bosley and in the backcourt, Rich Baker and Charles Ford. That's been the difference today. Some real contributions by the Hartford bench.
Iati made his last 2. Can't make that one, but Levine gets it. Works it out to Wyatt. Wyatt will take it strong, went flying through the air, but the ball was taken away before he got to the basket. Ford in transition, no follow-up. Yes, count it for Aaron Cook.
Aaron Cook, one of those guys that finds a way to score. He's been tightly denied today, but he's got himself up in double digits again. Play getting very physical down the stretch.
Levine to Wyatt. Stiles quickly out on Iati. Now Levine. Ford tried to rip it away, but Wyatt was tangled up inside with Bosley. I think Bosley's the one who's whistled for the foul here for Hartford. It's going to be their 4th team foul.
It's a good call. The play is getting very physical down low. Look for the officials down the stretch. They're going to call these things. The guys are really banging. Good job of officiating now, talking to the players to keep things calm.
That conversation continues. We'll step aside with 3:28 to go here in the second half. Hartford up by 11 in what's been a testy affair.
You want yourself a Hawk Pride t-shirt and a prize pack courtesy of Coca-Cola. Thank you very much for participating, Tim. We thank you to all of our sponsors. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, after the game, Carmel Ice Cream will be giving out free samples of their Moose Tracks from the car parked right in front of the main arena. Head on out, get yourself a sample.
Have you logged on to AmericaEast.com lately? The newest edition, America East Today, is a great resource for all the latest conference happenings. Need tickets to the basketball championships? You can get them at AmericaEast.com too. Need your America East gear? You can get that at the AmericaEast.com web store. AmericaEast.com is the source for all your America East information. The information you need to know right here. We're in West Hartford, Connecticut, 48-37. Hartford on top of Albany. Two teams hit hard by injuries throughout this season. Iati's been playing hurt in this game. the two top scorers from last year for these two teams out for the season. I was at a Hartford practice recently. They had the strength and conditioning coach out there at practice so they could run 5-on-5. I mean, they've done anything they can to get ready for these games. And this one's going to go down to the wire, although the miss by Iati.
Heard you got it on in that practice. you showed up with your sweats, right? You were ready to go.
If that happened, there'd definitely be another injury to talk about. Ruptured Achilles, torn ACL, you name it. I'd probably have a little bit of everything. Here's Styes for Hartford. They'll work some clock, closing in on 3 minutes to play. Whistle away from the ball, and little contact called on Courtney Johnson.
You make a good point, Eric. It's tough to practice when you've got this many injuries, just to get, you know, so the flow of continuity, what you want to do in practice, it's a challenge all the way around. You know, Will Brown's had to deal with it all season, and certainly Larry Harrison has had his fair share of injuries as well.
Ryan Styes inside of 3 to play now. Cook stepped back, but looking for the shot was Bosley, but Cook didn't have the balance. You can tell by the reaction, that fan behind Larry Harrison.
Not happy. He was exchanging that look right there, sharing that with Aaron Cook for leaving his feet with nowhere to go. Wow.
We've seen that look from Larry throughout the game. I like the fan reaction too. That was kind of told the story. Levine, yes. Levi Levine, 36% three-point shooter. You know he's got the stroke from outside. He just hasn't been able to find his rhythm today. Now at 10 points, but this would be a great time to get on track. It's an 8-point game.
I like the battle in Will Brown's club. They keep hanging in there, and that's what they've done. They've had trouble getting over the hump and winning games. They've dropped their last 4, all by 7 or less. There's Levi Levine, and Iati, the 2 go-to guys. And with a 3-point shot, you're really never out of a game. You make a few of these down the stretch, you can get yourself right back in there. Levine with the make, the timeout, as Albany continues to hang tough. I don't think they're going to put pressure on now, but they're going to have to extend and look to reach in down the stretch. How about that for consistency? 31 out of his last 32.
Yeah, with that hoop, got him to 10 points. He's been held in check, averaging nearly 16 points a game, but we saw what he could do last year. Member of the all-rookie team in America East, and trying to find his spots here today. Now Albany picks it up full court. Update from Binghamton. Stony Brook and Binghamton even in the first half. How about Binghamton? They go to Northeastern and take care of the Huskies this past week. What a big win for Binghamton. They were struggling a little bit. That's the last game to be played at good old West Gym as they get set to move a few feet away to the event center.
They've been playing everybody tough. Some good balance in the league, and down near 2 minutes in this game. Albany has elected this time not to reach in. Next foul is the bonus. They need a stop right now.
Forward for Styes. Iati there. Styes throws it up over 2 hands. Rebound pulled down by St Hillaire. Here comes Iati.
You need to score now. You need to really manage this clock, not take a lot of time, and still work your timeouts.
Courtney Johnson, Iati. Got to him quickly. Iati tried to take it inside, and last touch by Ryan Styes. 19 on the shot clock, 1:40 on the game clock. It's Albany ball.
Albany has timeouts to work with. They need to score. They need to score now. And for Hartford, you've got to get it done now and put this game away with the defensive stop.
Here's Iati taking it. Johnson for 3. No. Rebound. Wyatt. Second chance here for Albany. They're not done yet.
Big basket. The timeout as Albany continues to hang tough with 1:29 to go. Like the fight in this team.
They got it down to 4 points at one point here in the second half. It's now a 6-point deficit for the Great Danes with 1:29 to play. And Albany has used its final timeout. Well, they found Courtney Johnson. The freshman couldn't get it, but Wyatt, strong kid on the inside, got the putback.
Big basket just to keep the thing alive. Real strong in there, too. Good job not to foul by Hartford. Cleared out a little bit. Just a 6-point or a 2-possession game right now for Albany. They continue to hang in there for Hartford. Take good care of the ball right now, and you're going to have to win this game with some free throws down the stretch. Keep the ball in the hands of Cook and Styes down the stretch. Albany out of timeouts now. Next foul will put Hartford to the line in 130 and 160 for the Hawks, and the possession arrow favors Hartford right now.
Hartford as a team not great from the free throw line if it gets into a foul shooting contest. They're at 66%. Albany, the best free throw shooting team in the conference, at 75% as a team. That's not a factor right now. For Hartford, it could be a big factor if they're forced to make their free throws down the stretch.
The key right now, too, is to get the ball in the hands of the right people. So you've got the 3 guards set up out there again for Hartford. Stuy's a good free throw shooter. Cook a good free throw shooter. Rich Baker does a good job from the line. So those guys, you want them to handle it a lot right now.
And take a look at the score. That was one of the big keys for this Albany team.
Keep it low.
We're sub 50 with less than 90 seconds to play, and the pressure coming from Albany.
There's the reach. Good job by Albany. They got the ball to Regan. He would be the guy to reach in, and not the guards.
Yep, and it's a good
Well
person
done.
to foul. 57% at the line, so that is good foul for Albany as the 1-and-1 is coming now for Hartford. They're going to have to make their free throws to put this one away.
That's following your coach's instruction in the huddle. Try to determine who you want to reach. Sometimes you don't have that luxury because of time. They did a good job right there to find the right man.
Regan 2 for 2 today from the free throw line, so recent history on his side. Overall in the season, not great, but take that. Makes the first bonus coming. Absolutely.
You know, sometimes a guy with those kind of numbers, the 57%, in pressure situations, though, will step in there and do a good job. So Regan, he looked pretty comfortable when he got fouled right there. I think he might have even held on for another second, say, come and get me, boys. I'm knocking it down today.
2 big free throws from Sean Regan.
Absolutely.
Makes the 1-and-1, and here's a kid who was a walk-on first 2 years, played his way into a scholarship, and earning his keep with a couple of free throws to put it back to an 8-point lead. Now, a lot of time left, 1:14 to go.
Albany needs one again here. No timeouts left. Only way they can then stop it is with the reach in, but they need a hoop quickly.
Iati, a little off balance, back iron, rebound, pulled down by Rich Baker. Look who's on the floor in crunch time. The freshman, Rich Baker, best free throw shooter on this Hartford team. But they go after Regan yet again. Made them pay the first time. Let's see what happens the second time.
Still a one-on-one situation. And again, when a guy goes to the line right after he's made a couple, his confidence and rhythm is pretty good right now. Once you get to the 10th team foul, of course, every time you go to the line, it's 2 shots. This will still be a one-on-one. So Albany hoping that Regan may not get this first one, but with 8 down, time is a definite factor in this ball game with 56 seconds left.
Regan made both ends the first trip. Not this time, though. And here's Albany. Door open a little bit. Hartford bringing a little pressure.
Need a quick hoop. Taking a lot of time for Albany.
Iati. Baker defending him. Iati threw it up. Nothing happening there, and Hartford pulls it away. Baker will hold on to it. They work it to Taylor. Taylor is fouled. 62% free throw shooter will step up to the line. Last go-round of 1-and-1 here for Hartford.
Well, it's tough when you're down like this to get yourself all the way back, but the last couple of shots by Iati could have been better. Levine, perhaps, not looking happy, maybe a touch or two, maybe get it inside. You try to make things happen, but you need to get a good look.
So Bo Taylor, the America East Rookie of the Week, goes to the free throw line. Had a double-double against Stony Brook, 14 points, 12 boards, coming on strong, and now at the free throw line, 1-and-1 for Taylor. Didn't look like a 62% free throw shooter.
Looked pretty good, didn't he?
First point for Taylor, who has struggled in this game. 0 for 6 from the floor, but these are the 2 biggest shots of the game. Makes 1 of 2, 9-point game. 3-possession game, but 30 seconds to play. Levine ducks inside, got it, and the foul. Well, that's one way to knock off 3 points if he's able to convert on the 3-point play.
I don't think there's any doubt that the offensive play that time was to get the ball to Levi Levine and let him go. And again, he's a guy, he is your top scorer. Get him the ball in these situations. See if he can make some individual moves. He's got the strength and the athleticism to do it. Beautiful move.
29 seconds to play here at Hartford. Levine Can't convert. Chance for a second try, but stepping up is Aaron Cook, and he is fouled. 71% free throw shooter, but that is the 10th team foul on Albany, so now it's double bonus time for the Hawks. And that is the 5th foul on Courtney Johnson. He's fouled out. So now Albany down to 6 players available.
Now they've battled hard today. They've just had trouble putting points on the board in any kind of bunches, but they kept the pace down, gave themselves a chance. They battled back in the second half after they were down at intermission, so it's certainly given Hartford everything they could handle here today. I thought the defense has helped Hartford as they mixed it up, but it's been a struggle in the second half.
So Courtney Johnson's day is over. 2 points, 0 of 3 shooting, 3 assists for Courtney. And you have to wonder about the health of Jon Iati, who's still limping around, has been for this entire game. You hope he's able to stretch things out when Albany doesn't get any easier when they host Vermont Wednesday. Then they're at Boston University next Sunday. So a tough stretch for Will Brown's team.
Aaron Cook really stepped up today for Hartford. He was defended very tightly, but he has completely led the way for a balanced Hartford scoring attack. Only guy in double figures, so put a star next to his name today.
17 points for Cook. Levine makes the pass. Knotts makes the hoop. His first hoop of the game. 7-point game. Cook fouled in the corner. He'll go back to the free throw line to try and add to his game high total.
That's really the last foul you should commit if you're Albany in this game with just 18 seconds to go. The only thing now is the margin in this ball game, and Hartford a chance to extend it right now from the charity stripe.
Well, guess what? Chris Wyatt has fouled out. So there are 5 eligible players for Albany, and they'll all be on the court here for the final 18.4 seconds.
If this goes any further, this could be a reenactment of Hoosiers. Could get down to 4. My team is on the floor. We're not quite there yet, Eric. A lot of fight. I mean, that really displays, though, how thin this Albany team is, because clearly Jon Iati limping around and just 5 guys.
Aaron Cook back to the free throw line. We'll be back on America East Television Wednesday nights at Boston University Women's Hoop, when it will be BU taking on Stony Brook. So we'll get a chance to see the defending champions. Aaron Cook ups it to 18.
It's a nice little streak here for Hartford. This will be 4 in a row for the Hawks.
Game high 19 points for Aaron Cook. Hartford is at UNH, at Binghamton, hosts Maine, then at BU. A stretch of 6 games in 16 days for the Hawks, but they're finding their stride. That one's short. Levine gets it. That's short. Rebound pulled down by Baker. He's fouled with 4.4 to go. And all that's left to determine is the final score. As Baker walks down the line, you got to give a lot of credit to that youngster out of Frederick, Maryland. Came off the bench, gave a big boost to the Hawks. Now the foul was called on Levi Levine. That's his 5th foul. So you're right, we do have that moment where the 4 that Albany has available will be on the floor. When they look back at the season for the Great Danes, all the injuries they've had to deal with, being shorthanded, this will sum up the season. 4 players on the floor here for Albany.
Iati's limping. You've got all the injured players on the bench. Fortunately for Albany, just 4.4 seconds left. I played in a summer league one time where we were down to 3. Almost lost. Actually, the opponent was down to 3 and had the ball with a chance to beat us and actually shot it off the rim. And I said, this would be an absolute low point if we lose this one.
Baker makes the free throw.
Talk about being thin, though, huh?
Here comes Albany. They're going to push it right to the very end. 4 on 5. Iati will take it through. They'll count the basket at the buzzer, and that will do it. The Hartford Hawks knock off the Albany Great Danes by a final score of 57-48. Hartford has won 4 in a row, and Albany, a scrappy bunch right to the very end, short-handed in the final seconds, but they come up short here on the road. Hartford is up to the 500 mark overall. They're 8-8 on the season as they come away with a 57-48 victory. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night. Women's basketball here on the America East Game of the Week as the defending champions, Boston University, hosts Stony Brook. Thank you for joining us. We've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Ron Perry and our crew, I'm Eric Freed. So long from West Hartford.
Catch all the America East action in January at the Rack. For more information, call 442-4683.